So here I am at Minidisc with an iPad in one hand and a bag of beef jerky in the other hand. And we have Wing here. Hello, Wing.
Hey, what's with the beef jerky?
I've got two questions for you. One, can I try the LS70? And two, do you want some beef jerky?
Yeah, sure. Beef jerky.
So while Wing is distracted by the beef jerky, I've got the LS70 here and the ATH-LS50 here. I'm going to give these a long listen and I'm going to let you know how I think they compare based on that impression. I've also got my trusty VSonic GR07 here just as a comparison to what I think is one of the reference models in this kind of price range. So I listened to 5 or 6 tracks on my Khan between all 3 of these earphones, and I'm going to have some more extensive listening notes written down in the description of this video, but I would say right off the bat it's been an interesting comparison. And I'll say, just to get it out of the way first, the GR07 is a completely different kind of earphone from the LS50 and the LS70 because the LS50 and 70 at heart are warm headphones. They are more in the category of like SE215 competitors, whereas the GR07, I think it has more treble, it has a more balanced sound, more refinement, more texture, more detail. I still really love this earphone though. Again, I still don't know how the 2017 or the more recent versions of the GR07 compare. But yeah, basically I think it would be unfair to compare this to the 50 or the 70. Basically there's completely different sound signatures. So if you were after a warm sound signature, I'll say right off the bat, these are both good earphones. They're good, warm, easy to listen to earphones without sounding sludgy. And I'm sort of really curious to take one home and see how it compares against the Shure SE215. Between these 2 earphones, I actually thought I was going to be really clever and put one of the earpieces on the other side of the cable and compare them that way, but I figured out that these actually have different drivers and different impedances. If you check on the website, they have different diameters for the driver and they have different impedances, so volume matching between the 2 earphones is completely shot, which makes comparison a little bit difficult. What I would say, based on my roughly 1 hour of listening, is that they're very quite similar sounding. The LS70, I think, has a little bit more treble detail, or at least a little more upper mid energy. So things like brass instruments or with strings or with female vocals, while they could sound a little muted on the LS50, they had a little more energy on the 70 and it helped them stand out more. So whereas the 50 can sound a bit compressed, closed in at times, the 70 sounds a bit cleaner in that respect, but it's not a huge difference. The other difference that I would comment on is that I felt almost like the LS70 has more sub bass. They both have quite substantial bass responses, but the LS70 I thought had just that little more touch in the very lowest registers. And honestly, and this is what surprises me, is that I can't necessarily say that I enjoy the addition of more sub bass on the LS70 than the 50, because I already feel like the 50 has quite a lot of bass, and it sounds a little bit tighter, maybe a little bit cleaner bass on the LS70, but there's more of it. Again, because of the volume matching between these 2 earphones, it's really, really hard to say how much of it is due to the change in the volume, because these 2 earphones are definitely more similar than they are different. For the price, I'm actually sort of more excited about the LS50 because the 70 is almost twice the price, at least in Australia, $129 versus $199. In America, I think the price difference, the price disparity between the 2 is quite similar. But I still think they're both great earphones. I'm maybe not as enthusiastic about the 70 just because I feel like as soon as I walk out onto the street, the differences between these 2 earphones might not even be noticeable. In any case, I think that for an earphone that's well built with a nice detachable cable, and now with the addition of smartphone controls, these are really good value earphones, and I'm excited to, I think I'm going to take the 50 home for more extensive comparisons against the SE215 and other things in the category. All right, see you later, and happy listening.